Now let's look into the last technique of non-probability sampling. This is the snowball sampling. So snowball sampling technique in which participants are selected based on the referrals from the other participants. You see that? Based on the referrals from the other participants. In this method, the researcher identifies an initial group of individuals who meet certain criteria and then asks these individuals to refer the other individuals who also meet the criteria. So that's what is called snowball sampling. So snowball sampling, that you can see the animation on the screen, it is a special non-probability method used when desired sample characteristic is rare. It may be extremely difficult or cost prohibitive to locate respondents in these situations. This technique relies on referrals. You see, this guy will select one team, out of that he will refer. I think that QNet, some QNet business, I don't know exactly about that QNet business, that's the selling selling a person. I think it's now you will sell some product, some illusory imaginary product. If you buy that product paying 1 lakh or something, then you will get some money, and then that guy has to onboard a lot of people. If you onboard more people, then it will be you will get more money. That's what some sort QNet business, I don't know exactly, but that's also referral kind of work only. So this also works on the same principle. No, that QNet business works on this principle. Okay, so this technique relies on referrals from initial subjects to generate additional subjects. Okay, the additional, you will select one group. Okay, one group. So that one group will be selected. Researcher identifies an initial group of individuals who meet that initial group, maybe because of judgmental sampling. He will use judgmental sampling. So using the judgmental sampling, he will select one group, and later the group has to take over the task, and then the group will relies on referrals from initial subjects to generate additional subjects. This is the initial subject, then this initial subject has generate the additional subjects. You see that these are all additional subjects, which are generated. So this technique it lowers search costs. However, it introduces bias because the technique itself reduces the likelihood that the sample will represent a good cross section from the population. So now let's take one small example to understand this one. So fourth, it's a snowball because we are throwing the ball. So snowball sampling. So suppose a researcher wants to study the experiences of individuals who have experienced the workplace discrimination. So the researcher identifies an initial group. Step 1, a researcher identifies an initial group. He could use either convenient or judgment, whatever it may be, to identify the initial one. So once the researcher identifies an initial group of individuals who have experienced workplace discrimination through their personal networks or online forums, then the researcher then the researcher asks these individuals researcher asks these individuals who have also experienced discrimination. Then the researcher asks these individuals to refer who who have also experienced the discrimination. Okay, this is the researcher then continues the researcher then continues to recruit participants in this way until they have enough participants for the study. The researcher continues to recruit participants in this way until they have enough participants for the study. So this sampling technique is useful when the researcher is studying a hard to reach population or a sensitive topic, very sensitive topic, where individuals may be reluctant to participate or difficult to identify. So snowball sampling can help researchers across individuals who have not been reachable through other sampling techniques. However, this method can introduce bias into the results, as the sample may not be representative of the larger population, and individuals who are referred by others may share similar characteristics or experiences. So, in general, snowball sampling can be a useful technique when used appropriately, and when the researcher is aware of its limitations and potential biases, the researcher should clearly define the criteria for selection and justify the use of snowball sampling in the research design.